Can I say something that might be hard to hear? Sometimes the reason you're still sick from mold is not because you haven't taken enough supplements. It's because you're avoiding finding out if you're still being exposed. I spoke to a woman this week who went through a devastating mold event in her last home. She got really sick. They eventually figured out what it was. They remediated their home and she got better. And then they moved, and all the same symptoms she had from mold before came back. But instead of testing her body to see if she was being exposed to mycotoxins again, she has been spending thousands of dollars on other labs, supplements, gut and hormone protocols, trying everything she can to get her health back except looking at mold again. Even though it looks like mold, smells like mold, and feels like mold to her. Why is she avoiding it? Because the first experience she had with mold exposure traumatized her. When you get really sick from toxic mold and then go through the stress of remediation and healing, your brain encodes that whole experience as a survival threat. The amygdala in your brain becomes hypervigilant, the autonomic nervous system shifts into chronic fight or flight. So even the thought of testing or remediating again feels overwhelming, unsafe, even terrifying. Avoidance feels protective. But here's the problem. Avoidance keeps you from doing what you need to do to heal. And that's all she really wanted. So what she really needs isn't another gut healing supplement. She needs nervous system capacity, both so that her nervous system isn't standing in the way of her resilience and healing, and so that she can address mold if it is a contributor. She needs to neutralize the trauma imprint from the first mold event so that she can approach the current situation calmly, clearly, and from a regulated state. And I've been there myself. I know what it feels like to want to avoid it, to feel like going through remediation again might break you. But when your nervous system is regulated, you can face it without panic, without overwhelm, without collapse. And without feeling like there's no way you can possibly get through it. When you build regulation and resilience first, two things happen. One, you can deal with mold calmly, directly, and effectively. And two, your body becomes more resilient, and you often start feeling better even before your environment changes, because you're no longer living in constant fight or flight, and that alone can have a major impact on symptom severity. So if you know you're avoiding testing or remediation because it feels overwhelming and you're stuck because of it with your health, this is exactly the work I do. I help those who are going through or have been through toxic mold exposure to rewire the trauma and get their nervous system back to the healing state of regulation. Book a discovery call. Let's help your nervous system feel safe enough to move forward so your healing can actually progress.